IDC receives incoming claims. So this is a business process. So when the very first step in the SDLC is somebody has to define the business process. Either business will be having a process or a business analyst will. With business means that the users might, so users must be having this process document too. They must be having something because they do this thing every day. So for training among themselves, they must have put some document in place explaining who does what as far as process is concerned. Is it right?
Yes.
So they tell things like this, and their process document will look exactly like this. They'll say IDC receives, for example, the first step is IDC receives incoming claims. Okay. Then prepare and batch claims. One more person will type. Queue the router, queue router routes images to appropriate queue. When they receive, so you will not be able to understand unless until go through each and every step and try to understand what it really means and think about it. And here business process would almost be a common sense thing. See, you'll have to apply your common sense. For example, in GRail the things go like this. When the car comes in, then somebody notes its configurations, right?
Yeah.
In enterprise rent a car, let's say like this, in enterprise rent a car,
Yeah.
the process is like this. For returning customer comes for taking the rental car. So the process for renting the car, that's how you will say. They must be having this process in place because they have to teach those guys also who are on the counter, right?
Yeah.
So the process will be like this. Customer comes in, right?
Yeah.
Right? And customer says, you ask him, well, how can I help you? Then they will say, okay, this is the kind of car they want. Okay, so you try to you find out a code, you put all this thing in the system, get the code, give it to the customer. That's third step. Fourth step is when he says he's okay, then try to suggest him a bigger car just for $2 more. This is the part of the process.
Hello.
Hello. So this is the way you write the business process. The customer comes in, then you give him this code, then you give him a try to sell him ask, then he does not. Then next process is make sure the car is washed. If it is not washed, then wash it.
Yeah.
If it is washed, show it to the customer. Take a round around the car to show there is any defects on the car, right?
Yeah.
Put the marks wherever the problem is. Notice the fuel. Always notice the fuel. Put it on that sheet. Mark on that sheet, and then give the keys to the customer. Oh, sorry, get customer signature for sure. Get customer signature.
Yeah.
Give it to the customer. This is the exact process. When you look at the process, this is the way exact process is. So a person like you then says, can I have a look at that sheet which he signs? That's how you increase your understanding of the process. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, which he signs. Can I look at a sample contract that the customer? By the way, contract also has to be signed, right?
Yeah.
So ask the customer to sign the contract. If the customer is ask the customer whether he needs insurance. If he does, charge for that also. If he does not, ask for the insurance proof and unmark that and get it signed. So there is a whole right. Right. So you will see so many decision boxes. If he does not have insurance, then do this. If he has insurance, then do this. So decision boxes come into picture. Is it right?
Yeah.
So everybody will be writing business processes for their work. They must be having some business process document in place. Business analysts will go there and just write it in a better way. Okay, like this is written in a proper way. I'll show you one business process document that I got from my users. Okay, so this is the way I have written the function flow. The same thing I rewrote. It was not yet written properly, right? Anyway, see the way it is written. Everything is written. Paperwork complete. If not, then do this. If it is not, then do this. Then do this. Then do this. Then do this. Come back. See, the loops are getting closed also, right? So business process is, this is the business process document. This one is the business process diagram, and you could have a complete business process diagram where you explain each and every step, what it does, what it does not do. Okay. So we have very good business process documents, templates. We'll help you make those business process documents. You will get something from the users, something. We will make all these things here. Okay, and most probably business, we do not know what will they be having. They must be having some process in place for order management. Find out what their process is, will write the business document, business process document very, very well. Okay. Okay. So after business process document is written, okay, we start writing the business requirements document. Okay, that's our second stage. See, right? SDLC is also like really nothing but a process for developing software. Is it right?
Yeah.
So anyway, first thing is business process document has to be charted out. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Second one is then somebody has to write, actually not somebody, the business analyst. For sure only business analyst does it. So you will be doing it. Okay, at a high level, the business analyst looks at the doc. See, this is already prepared. This is a part of the process. They have to write it. So just the business analyst might write it in a different way again, just to make sure it makes more sense. That's it. He get more details in it just to make more sense. But that's already done usually. Okay, so you got my point, right, Hafiz? Yeah, in general, you may not
Business
be.
process, it's already defined.
It's already, because process is already defined,
Yeah.
right? Somebody must be following the process. That's why they're asking you to make a system for that, right?
Yeah.
Right? Somebody must have already. Second, so next thing is business requirements document. You make that. Business analyst makes that. Then he finds out gap analysis. Okay. Then he performs the gap analysis. Then he makes the prototype or design. Okay, this gap analysis and everything that we are talking about, it is in accordance with a methodology of Siebel called as Siebel eRoadmap methodology. Okay, this is a methodology followed. Siebel suggests that we should follow. We should first plan, then we should define. Define means exactly what that means is we should define the whole business process, and then we should define the scope, what we should be doing. Then we should write the business requirements document, then and find the gaps, do the gap analysis. Then we should do the design. Then we should configure, which is basically development. Design basically really means whatever we are doing, whatever design work that we have to do. Validate means nothing but testing. Deploying means production rollout, right? It's the same old wine in the different bottle, but a little bit different also in the sense that these first few phases, he insists more on just get the requirements and find the gap. Gap means there is already packaged software. You find the gap between this packaged software called Siebel and your requirement. That's what the gap means. And you work only on the gap. You don't have to make the whole application from scratch. Is it right?
Yeah.
So that's why he says the SDLC or the RUP methodology is better for only that. When you are making the software from scratch, right?
Right.
So when you are not making the software from scratch, he says follow this methodology. You first just plan, define what you need, then you find the gaps. Once you find the gaps, make a design for this application, new application that you want to make with the gaps.
Yeah.
With the customizations. Then you design. Then you just ask the developer to configure it. And even if he's using the names also a little different. Like he's not calling it development, he's calling it configuring. Is it right?
Yeah.
So what I'm explaining here is almost similar to that. It's actually what I'm trying to explain. I just thought I'll just show you the actual diagram, the way it works. Here he's saying, he's telling you the meaning of each and every. In the plan stage, comprehensive strategies are developed that serve as the baseline for single or multiple implementation stages. Also in the plan, you might figure out we'll roll it out in different phases. In the first phase, we'll be basically having only the order management functionality. So this is already done. Your manager, she knows that you are coming for order management. That means she's already rolled out order management. He will be working on opportunity to order and so on and so forth. Is it right?
Yeah.
So define. In the defines project stakeholders. What is a project stakeholder? The business is a project stakeholder.
Business.
Right? Business, right? Stakeholders, right? are identified, and the roles and responsibilities of the project managers, your own and civil managers, are communicated to all the stakeholders. Program management is established. What is program management? See, what happens is at a high level, 2 or 3 people are defined that these guys will be watching the project. One will be from the VP, like VP or some VP will be invited. Why don't you? Or actually, you might become a part of the program management. Dharmesh was part of program management. Okay, in Cisco, that manager of mine was a part of the program management. Okay, so similarly, somebody can become a part of this program management. Okay, so you can become a part of the program management too down the line. I'm pretty sure they'll make you. So this program management committee will consist of the project manager. It might consist of the project manager's boss. Like where I work, project manager's boss was in the committee. So they basically talk. It's kind of program is a bigger entity than project. There will be multiple projects in a program. Okay. So this committee will be managing 2-3 projects, and they will basically be watching all those projects. And their whole goal is to get the whole order thing get implemented, or the whole division of the project of the company gets automated. So they'll be having order management project. They'll be having opportunity order management. They will be having case management project going on. Things like that. Is it okay?
Yeah.
So you will define your process, and your process is pretty much written. This is the process which is outlined in the Siebel order management guide. Exhibit interest in product or service. Customer does this. Then call center, he creates code, he approves code, he creates order, approves order. Okay. Then procurement, they broker order. Then call center agent, he updates order status. Fulfill from inventory. If it is fulfilling for inventory, yes, pick and pack. If it is not fulfilling from product, then order it to the manufacturer, right? And then pick and pack, then ship it, then update the order status, then invoice the order. Okay, create an asset. We know that sometimes it happens, sometimes it does not happen. Invoice order, make payment, receive payment. This is how the process document looks like. Is it right? This is the way I also made it. Remember? You remember that? This has been detailed very well. Then we'll write something called as business requirements document. So let's look at a sample business requirements document. How does it look like? Okay. Business requirements document has written from a business perspective. Okay. Same process. We'll be seeing what all we need to implement in SEEP. Okay. And we'll start saying it like this. Collect all repair estimates from the shop in a standard format. Okay. So that means we have to make a special view here where all these repair estimates will be written. Is right? Process all repair estimates through contract business rules to assign responsibility for all repairs. It is basically for, I don't know which company it is for. Process is this: when we rent a car to somebody, then he comes back and let's say the car gets broken. Usually the contract will be for 5 years, and car means like rail car. Bob, are you able to understand?
Yes, sir.
So the contract will be for like 5 years, and in that time if it gets broken, then what will happen? So they will come into they will call us, say it has broken down. Then what you do is you ask them to come to this shop. When they come into the shop, this is what starts. Collect all repair estimates from the shop in a standard format. So they will find us what all repairs needs to be done. Then they'll enter it in the system. Repair estimates. Process all repair estimates through contract business rules to assign responsibility for all repairs. Putting in the system, they will all get assigned to different people. Rail car is a very big entity. It's much bigger than even laptop, much complex also. So somebody will be working on door, somebody will be working on the wall, somebody will be working on this. It will all get assigned. Okay. Sort estimates by shop to enable ease of editing by maintenance managers. For every shop, it's been kind of basically either the ability to sort or ability to produce a report. Boils down to enable editing of line item estimates by maintenance manager. So if they look at something, they can go to the order and line item and they can edit it. Right? Same business process document, but written in a way what we want. Okay, it's written in a manner saying what I want. Making sense? Look at some other. Let's look at some other this thing in the um, some other sections in the same document. Okay.
Yeah.
Introduction, overview. It is here we will be giving an overview of the complete business, and we will be saying what is gonna be in this document and where does this whole project stand. Okay, like you know this is like Intuit is a very big business and it has like this is many people and there some and order management process basically has certain roles like this. So this whole project was conceived in order to automate the order management and so on and so forth. I'll make those lines for you. Don't worry. You should know what I'm talking, right? So this is the way you will write the overview. Then objectives. The objectives is supposed to improve the accuracy of the order management, and it is also will basically help managers track the order management, how many orders and all these things. So we will write all this. Approach. Then we're writing kind of the approach. We'll see what all sections are applicable to your work. Okay. So everywhere you'll go, different sections might be available, might be applicable. So we'll add more sections to this same template. We'll remove some sections so as to complete our discussion. Remember, in the beginning I said, you remember what I was saying about the documents? There is no
standard.
There is no standard. Second thing is, but you know what all you want to write, which will, so you will change the templates a little bit to suit what you want to write. Okay. So here the business requirement starts, and this is just a way of nomenclature. This is your own nomenclature. Will follow something else. I follow a different one. I always write BR1 so that it is clear that it's a business requirement, not a functional requirement. Something like that. It's just my way of writing. Okay. So after you do this thing, you go through this whole idea, whole drill of making the business requirements. Then you go to the next step. For all business requirements, it is written in detail what it needs to do. What is it? What does it mean? What does this requirement mean? For example, it's written in very high level of detail what this does. Once you write like this, you're good. Okay. Analysis document. We have a very good template, so you don't need to worry. This template will be available to you. See here, the requirement is first written, then the whole requirement description from the same document. Remember that old document here? From here, the business requirement is cut and paste here. It copied and pasted here. We just write who gave this requirement, source, what functional area. Yours will be always functional area will be order management, right? So business requirement will be written, detailed description will be written, solution idea will be written. In this case I don't have any, but main thing is the section that you are looking for is gap analysis section. Okay, Hafiz? Here you will write what are the gaps between the application and the requirement. Why it is so important? Because that will determine how much work needs to be done. That is the cost and time estimation, right?
Gap between
the application and the vanilla application, that is Siebel, and this requirement.
So how much modification need to be done?
Exactly. So you will write like this. I'll tell you exactly what you. Sales rep should be able to view all data related to opportunity and associated product for all. Right? Right? Now I know that opportunity and associated product. You know, right? Siebel has out of the box functionality for showing opportunity and the related product. Is it right?
No.
So we don't need anything.
No gap.
No gaps. Okay, very good. No gaps. That I like that idea. Sales rep should be able to view that. You have to look at the requirement very well. Sales rep should be able to do that. Tell me, is there any gap now? Will sales rep be able to see that?
See what the sales rep will be.
Opportunity and product screen. Remember, we have to think in terms of gap. What is the gap between vanilla and I know that this has to happen. It makes common sense also. But you will be defining your business process exactly properly, and then you'll be writing the requirements, and then you'll be writing this document. So it may be away from common sense. So idea is not common sense. Idea is what is written here and what the gap is between Siebel, vanilla Siebel, and this. And by just very important point. If they have already implemented Siebel, which your client has, okay, In that case, you will find the gap between vanilla Siebel and this one, or the customized Siebel they already have and this one. Customized Siebel that they already have, because there is no use finding things from vanilla.
Yeah.
Right? If they are implementing order management module for the first time, then you can find order management, only order management vanilla and this. So these gaps are actually between the customized Siebel that my client had in place and this requirement. Okay?
So in this opportunity and what?
Right? Sales rep, if he doesn't have a user ID password, somebody has to provide him a user ID password. That means there's a little bit of maintenance work required. But then once he gets the user ID password, he may not be able to see that view unless until it is in his responsibility. So responsibility has to be assigned with right responsibility with the opportunity product view. And then position has to be assigned to him. Otherwise he will not see all the data. And then this is basically all data, means it's an all view. Is it right? And we have to assign him this thing, opportunity product view with all these things. Then main thing is, now listen, requirement is a sales rep should be able to see. That means other people can see or not, it depends on other requirements, but in this requirement is not written. Is it okay if by mistake I give it to sales rep? Obviously should be having that this thing, access to that view, but I by mistake I give it to somebody else also. Is it acceptable? No. Right? Right? So we should be analyzing other requirements and seeing who all has the requirement. Remember, your views depend upon that. Your responsibility has few views in it. So it will not be having only opportunity product view. So when assigning it to Mr. Sales Rep, that responsibility, you might end up assigning few extra views, which is not the right thing. So you will have to create a new responsibility, probably make new opportunity product view part of that responsibility and assign that responsibility to Mr. Sales Rep. Is it right? And then you have to maintain your data. Every time a sales rep joins in, you have to assign him this responsibility as well. Otherwise, this requirement will not get satisfied. Right? They'll call you, and your manager of the users will call you, say, it's been 2 days, this guy has come and he doesn't have the access to opportunity product view. That's not a good situation. That's not what they pay you for. You see my point? Not you, but IT manager. IT manager and the maintenance maintenance guy. He should know what to do, what not to do. So when the sales rep comes in, this should be one of the drills that his responsibility has to be updated. He has to be set up in Siebel, right? So this requirement although looks harmless, but it is not harm. It has a lot of work in it. So I will write like this for this. Vanilla Siebel likhunga. I'll write vanilla Siebel gap. Okay. Right? Making sense? Once you write like this, then you find the gap level. Let's assign. So this is the opportunity product, the vanilla view in Siebel. Maintenance work related to creating a new user, assigning responsibilities and positions, and ongoing work related to assigning this view to new reps. Right? These are the few works we identified. So we'll put the gap level here. We'll put the. This is a description of the gap analysis. First one is out of the box or no change necessary, which is this one. Okay. Then the gap level you provide is 1. This is the kind of usually accepted definition of gaps. You can put up whatever you want. You can put 1 to 10, but you should be having a clear, crisp description of what are the various gap levels. You can put 1 to 3. I used to put 1 to 3 first, but then I started using 1 to 7. So for the last like 3 projects, I've been using 1 to 7 only. You can make up to 1 to 10, 15, 20, whatever you want, but you should be having clear description of what is the different kinds of gaps mean. Okay, and I'm writing it as an appendix in the separate Excel here, right? You can see, right? This is where the gap analysis is written. This is where the gap level description is written. So I'm putting in the appendix. Out of box, but with LOV or small admin change. You know, right? LOV changing is very easy, right?
Yeah.
Similarly, assigning position responsibility is not very difficult.
Yeah.
Okay. Out of box with major administration such as setting up templates, activity plans, proposals, or product administration. Yes, product administration, setting up that product. Remember yesterday I said product, what can it be related to, what all it can be associated to. Remember when you set up a product, what are the various upsell products related to it, what are the related products, what are the various configuration options available. It is a really cumbersome task and it's really little difficult. So please saying that when, but this is all administration, this is not configuration, right? Whenever this kind of work is involved, you give it a gap level of 3. Okay. 4, actual configuration is required, but it is minor in nature, like a label change. What is label change, by the way, Hafiz? You see this activity number?
Yeah.
Activity number, that this exact line, this exact word is the label. This value is not the label, this is the value of the field. Okay, but this is the name of the field, right? That name is the label. Okay, this is the label. So changing this is also work. They might say just change the labels, keep everything same, as this label is not okay. Can you, for example, this activity number, this they might say no, I want no dot number. That's another way of writing number, right? So you might say that. So exactly, so that's a label change. So if this kind of difference exists and you're changing a little bit of field change, like this field is changed from one type to another, or the length is changing, or things like that, right? Then we give it the configuration. So whenever configuration is there involved, we give it the level 4. Level 5, configuration required. Some big, like new links, new joins, BO changes, user properties. So previous ones were only on the applet. Now he's saying if you're changing something in BC and BA, or you are changing the user properties, it's something related to BCs, that's fine. So any kind of little bit of major work, but it only involves configuration, then the gap level will be 5. Okay. 6, scripting required of minor type. Scripting means coding, minor type, like, but so that will, the gap level will be given as 6. 7, very complex tools work, complex scripting or interfaces. Just as an interface is required, gap level will be always high. Interfaces are always hard to manage, always a lot of work has to be done. Whenever there is an interface, you have to give it a gap level of 7, right? Very complex tools work, I mean, put this rule, put that rule, make workflows and all that stuff. All this is complex tools. Whenever it is required, needs to be done, you put it as gap level 7.
When you say tools, what is that? Is that
Siebel tools?
Siebel tools?
Yeah, Siebel tools. It means Siebel tools. Gap level discussion is complete, right? You know, right? Yeah. Okay. So you write, for this one, I will put 2 as the gap, because some administration change is required. Responsibility, position have to be done, but it's basic administration change, nothing complex. No configuration required, right? Yes. This is how you write the gap. You keep going through this thing. Just right, you keep going your requirements, then you finally write the gaps. Okay, that was the gap analysis. Okay, and I have done a lot of gap analysis. That's how you say. I know about various kinds of requirements. I've got routing requirements, I've got entry requirements, I've got access requirements, and I know the gaps, what can Siebel do, and then I can easily find the gaps. Right, these are various types of requirements, right? Access requirements, security requirements, functional requirements, routing requirements, assignment requirements. You know how assignment manager works, right? If I give you assignment requirements, you know what all needs to be done. Yeah. Similarly, if I give you some workflow requirement, you know what all needs to be done. Not much, but
Yeah.
we can work it out.
Yeah.
So this is how you think. Okay. Then there are access rules requirements. For example, this one was access requirement. Sales rep should be able to see, not others.
Yeah.
Others are not determined. We should see. So you will be basically finding the exact requirements. You know what, who needs to see in what based on this requirement. Is right.
Yeah.
So you make all these gaps and you write the gap level. Then you make the cost and time estimation. Somewhere here you can start making the cost and time estimation. Okay. The way to make cost and time estimation is in this document. It is outlined what all needs to be done. Okay. And he's actually level of effort estimation. This is a level of estimate. He's saying development needs. Just in one section he has put what all needs to be done. Number of screens, one screen telephone interviews. So this is one screen, new screen has to be made. Number of views, these 2 views have to be made. Okay, in activity screen. Then 4 views have to be made in the telephone interview screen, new screen, this new screen. Okay, in this new screen 4 new views have to be made. Number of workflow, no workflow required. Assignment manager work, no assignment manager work required. Is it right, Hafiz?
Yeah.
Number of new reports, 1 report. Security details, yes, nothing very special, just responsibility based security. Right? 8 PDQs are also required. So these are the development level of effort. Level of effort for development. On the basis of that, you can prepare a cost and time estimation. How much time it might take, how much cost it might take. Roughly, I will give you the rule of thumb right away so that you can. If it takes about a week to develop an applet, a week to test an applet, a week to analyze an applet. So week to analyze, week to develop, week to this thing. So 3 man weeks, 1 man week, 3 1-man weeks. One person working on an applet for 3 weeks will basically give this work. Okay. So 3 man weeks are required. Usually I give 4 man weeks. Trust me, these are not important. This is important, but I have worked in a project, where I went to my manager. He said, Gaurav, are you sure you can do this? I said, I don't know. He said, just multiply everything by 2. Whatever you written, just multiply by 2. This is how they do the time estimations. So instead of 4 weeks, I just wrote 8 weeks. You see my point?
Yeah.
You see my point, Bob? You see my point, Bob?
Yes, sir.
Can you see this? What is highlighted right now?
Other details and
8 PDQs. So this is how you do the cost and time estimation. That's what cost and time estimation mean. And I have talked about that also a lot. Is it right?
Yeah.
Once you make the business requirements and once you have done the gap analysis, then you start making either the design or the functional requirement depending upon how elaborate your methodology is. I would say one requirement document is enough, whether you write it from business perspective or from functional perspective, that is same. For example, in case of Toshi, they don't write too many documents. They just write one document. They don't even write a separate business design document. Every requirement, business requirement, functional requirement, design, everything is in only one document. They don't have any gap analysis document also. Gap analysis is also done in the same document. Okay, so you use your own discretion what kind of document you want. But I usually make 2-3 documents just to make it look good, just to make look same things go, but people think this guy is working. Okay, so I make at least 2-3 documents. All right. Talk about this thing in the business process document. You always write, what is the current process and future process. See, things will keep coming. It will become a part and parcel of your life. At least you have heard these words once. So when somebody speaks, you know that Gaurav knows about it. Gaurav talked about it. Okay. You may not remember everything. Don't worry. You need to do only one job, and that in one job, whatever is required, it will be on your tips within 5 days. This is the project plan for the phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Okay, RKS project. So this is really nothing very special. Just write each and every task, and I will help you write the project plan. Okay. So now let's look at. So this is a project plan document, right? You now know how the project plan document looks like. It has for every task, it has like how many days it will take, from what date to what date it will be done, and who will be doing that. And we also write predecessors, like what will be done, what has to be done before that, before this task can be started. So we can make this project plan for you. It's very easy to make this project plan. Do not worry at all. We'll make this whole plan. Okay. So let's look at some design documents. That is the next step. in the whole methodology, right? We have done till discover. It's sometimes not clear what he wants to define and discover, but I think this is the methodology they are following. They just go through. We'll go through this thing one again. Just hold on. All the in the discover, all the requirements are gathered and all the gap analysis is done. In define, only the like high level what we are going to do is determined. Okay. So in discover, only all the gap analysis and everything is done. Requirements, gap analysis, everything is done. Okay. So let's do the design. I'll show you one design now. Okay. This is how a design document looks like, right? We have a very good template. The various parameters of design will be in that template. You don't need to worry, whether you'll be able to produce the work or not. You'll be able to produce very good work. Okay. These templates are very good. Nobody has kind of seen these kind of works before. Like if I produce this in my client site, they'll really be very happy because this is a really good design document. Okay. You see, all these fidelity mockups. These mockups are not easy to make. Nobody can make these things like this. These objects, remember that I told you I will just copy paste and will make it. But that copy paste is that first thing we have. Your client will be very happy. You don't have to do a lot of work, but your client will be very happy when you see very good Siebel-like mockups, right? Mockups that look like Siebel, right? They will really love that. Okay, like these. See, it looks like Siebel only, right?
Yeah.
So they'll really like it. But we are not taken cut and copied and pasted the Siebel screen here. We have made real life mocks. Okay.
So you have made kind of templates for that?
Yeah, we have made templates for everybody. You guys can use that. Yep. See. Okay. This is a design document. It has so many areas. We say what are various fields will be there. This is what we call as data elements. All the data elements or all the data attributes are mentioned here. Okay. What are their various list order applet? What will be the order in the list? List applet order. At what place? Like in the list applet, there is first column, second column. Which order is this one? So each and every detail of the design has been captured. Whether it will be actively displayed or not, whether it will be whether it will be the that columns displayed functionality, height functionality,
Yeah.
whether it will be hidden or not. Okay. Required or not. Text box. What is the type? Whether it is read only or not. Things like that. Okay. So all these things are written in this. After this design document is made, the developer really does not have to do anything. He just has to go and check mark, things like that. So developer work is very less after this design document is made like this. Okay. Okay. So after this design, you'll give it to the developer and he will make it. Really nothing else needs to be done after this by business analyst. Okay. This defines the duties of the business analyst in terms of SDLC very, very well. Okay.